Okay, it's Dave with PeabodysParadise.com, and we are going to do an experiment, a rooting experiment with Hygrophila pinnatifida. It's this awesome bunch plant here. This is actually two bunches of Hygrophila, and a lot of this, when they send it, they send it as cuttings, so it doesn't really have much root structure, and I really don't, I don't like selling them like this. I do if they're in good shape and look like they're starting to put roots, but I really prefer sending the stuff that's already got roots. That way it transitions a lot easier. But so what we're going to do is we're going to take these, and this experiment is not going to be completely conclusive because we're sharing one water system, but if it looks like it's producing results, then I'm probably going to take it further. What we're going to do is we're going to have one bunch that is going to be wrapped in this material. This is sure to grow. It's just like a kind of like a cotton material, similar to. It's just a grow media. I'm going to wrap it in that and then tie a lead weight around it and just have it sitting in there. One of them is just going to be a control that doesn't have anything done to it, and the other is going to be first dipped in rooting hormone. The stems will be, and I'm just going to wet the stems a little bit, then dip them in the rooting hormone, then wrap them up. And then I'm going to have a third control that's just going to be left floating and see how that does, because that may actually help out with rooting also. So, but we'll see how it works out, and hopefully we'll get some results over the next few days. I've just got a little clamp light with like a 23-watt CFL, and this is just an internal, some kind of internal filter. The filter is probably not necessary, but it will keep the water from getting stagnant. One problem that I have thought about was, the rooting hormone leaking through this media and then, being in the water column, so everything's getting rooting hormone. But I'm only going to put so much in there that, the plants that are that it's touching should get the most benefit out of it. But we'll see. We'll see how that works. And like a lot of these are putting roots out at each interval where the new stems are coming out, because these weedy stems all, the way they grow in nature is they break off, and a lot of times or whatever, and when they do, they'll put new root systems out. And if you lay them flat, they'll actually put a root system out at each one and then send stems straight up. So either way, so what we're going to do first is take a look at this rooting hormone. This is just what I got. This is terrestrial rooting hormone. Can't really, don't know if you can see it. It's green light. I got it from a garden supply place, I think. It's this one uses indole 3 butyric acid. I know there's a couple different, the IBA is one of the most common, but there's a couple different hormones that are used in propagation or cloning or whatever you want to call it in rooting. So I know this is one that is used sometimes in whenever they do tissue culture. So either way, there's a couple other ones. So if this one doesn't really have any results, it doesn't mean that none of them will. It just means that this one doesn't have any results ultimately. And we'd have to exhaust all the different options available, because I think some of them respond differently to others. Anyway, now that I've bored you to death, if you're still watching, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to trim these stems, all of them, because some of them have already started to root a little bit, and I want to trim them all. That way they're all starting off at the same level. And if you notice, I'm cutting them at a 45-degree angle. Whenever you cut stem cuttings, any kind of stem cuttings that you plan to root, it does help to cut them at a 45-degree angle, because you maximize the surface area for it to pull roots out. That's something that you do in gardening also, so it just, I figure it carries over to this kind of gardening, which is aquatic gardening. So okay, so we got all those cut, looks like, for the most part anyway. Cut those. Okay, and we'll separate them. I'm gonna put, I'll put three, and then we'll leave two bunches of 3 and the 2 floating. So we got 5 floating, and then we'll have these 2 groups of 3 as the test ones. Okay, this first one is going to just be the control. So actually, I'm going to cut that one because it's got some root. Sorry about that. It's got some root going already. So it looks like, so we got bare stem. Sorry if this is blurry. I'm trying the best I can. We don't have like a dedicated camcorder just yet, so we're still working with our camera. We got a DSLR, a Nikon that we use to shoot all of our videos with. That's why the volume kind of sucks sometimes, because it doesn't have the option for a cordless mic. So, okay, so I'll wrap that up, and now wrap the lead around it. Don't play with lead. Okay, so that's in there. That one's in. Now we're gonna do this one. Just wrung it out because it's full of water. Okay, first thing, I gotta make sure that they're all trimmed. Okay, they all look good. They all seem to be relatively wet. So now we're gonna just take this rooting hormone, and I'm just putting it into a cup so I can kind of roll it around in there. I've heard like that you can just dip it into the container itself, but like I don't know if there's some sort of contamination issues or whatever, so I'm not even gonna, I don't even want to play that game. So yeah, we're just kind of getting them good and covered, just right there at the base of the roots. And I would assume that if this works on the base of the roots, or the base of the stem, that it would also work up here where there's you know, other roots coming up. But I wouldn't want it to have tons of roots all over it though, because it doesn't really look right like that. So okay, now we're going to take this and just fold it over and then wrap it up like that. And if this actually does produce results, which I'm totally up in the air about, I've seen stuff online and some people, biologists especially, say, oh well, no, it probably doesn't, but we haven't tested it, you know, or whatever. So, you know, I'm just going to test it out and see. It doesn't hurt anything either way, and it'll, you know, kind of lead me in a direction either way, rather than just say, oh well, you know, so and so said it doesn't work, or that they haven't tried it but it probably won't work. So either way, so that's why I'm doing this, because I haven't found any real documentation where people have really tried it out and tested it out. So, and then our floaters, just gonna leave them floating. So the ones that are floating are getting a lot more light than the ones that are not. So you think they would react more, like they would have more to work with light-wise. But either way, we'll see how they work out. I kind of suspect that the ones that are left floating will develop roots, you know, along each little juncture where the stems come out. So we'll see. And it looks like they're already quote unquote pearling. Like this is just basically where oxygen is coming out of the plant, which it doesn't really mean a whole lot. It just means that either you got oxygen saturation or you've got a broken part of the plant, which we just cut these, so that's actually air escaping out of the plant. We're gonna leave this for a few days, and we will check back with it probably Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll give it a couple days, and we'll see if anything is developed. Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it yet. As far as taking these out, I may wait a little bit longer, maybe give it a week, but we're just gonna leave it like this. I'm gonna run the light probably 10 hours a day, 10 to 12 hours. Try to maximize the amount of light they're getting right now, so they can get, you know, a lot of growth in. So let's see how that goes. I'm not fertilizing it at all. We'll just leave it alone. I'm just gonna plug the filter in and let it rock. So, all right, stay tuned, and thanks for watching. Bye.